Andrew Jetarski. Thank you so much for being a part of this today.
Thank you, Richard.
Really appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun, and it's great to have a chance to talk to you. You have to come up with the first thing, though, which is our first question of the day. What is your favorite line from a book?
Well, I have a lot of favorite lines. I was digging up so many of them. So I'm going with something more recent that I had to commit to memory, which goes, your father picks you up from prison in a stolen Dodge Neon with an 8-ball in the glove compartment and a hooker named Mandy in the back seat.
That's great. What is that from?
That is the first line from a short story by Dennis Lehane called Until Gwen. And it's actually the first thing I ever read of Dennis Lehane. And to be honest with you, when I read it, I thought, well, you know, second person, not first person or third person, second person, present tense, how pretentious. But by the time you get to the end of this story, that choice of narrative voice makes complete sense. It's a terrific story.
Wow.
And the first line has just stayed with me. And I thought I might also try a Dashiell Hammett line, but what I like about either the Dashiell Hammett line or that one is that it's a simple declarative sentence. It's very much to the point, but the words are already dancing, and it's the kind of sentence that will get you reading the next sentence, and that's the kind of writing I admire.
Have you always been a crime fiction reader, or are you all over the board, or?
That's pretty. When I'm reading fiction, pretty much it's crime fiction. Although, when I was a nerdy teenager, yeah, I read a lot of science fiction. I started when I had just graduated college, and I took my first job in Washington, D.C., and was in my sister's house and mentioned to my brother-in-law, I might like to read a good detective story. And he literally reached out and pulled Dashiell Hammett off the shelf and said, this is where you begin. So I did start reading Dashiell Hammett. I read everything there that was in print at the time of Dashiell Hammett, and then I went on, and
wow,
I'm still I have a huge list of books to catch up to.
It's a great thing. It's a great thing to have a list to catch up to. I love that. So that was your first mystery. That was the first thing that you really, I mean.
Yeah, I think it was The Continental Op, which is actually short stories, but yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Red Harvest.
Very good. Red Harvest.
Yeah.
Ah, that's a great one. So, given now that you're a part of Stark Raving, can you give us a hint as to what you're doing for us?
Yeah, I have a PI, a private investigator in LA, but LA doesn't stand for Los Angeles. It stands for Laetum Aeternum, which is sort of the world of eternal anguish. It's a Latin term, and he's a detective in the afterlife, basically. And I guess part of what sparked this was with all the murder stories we read, whether the murderer gets away with it or not, at some point they're going to die too. And what's going to be waiting? Who's going to be waiting for them in the afterlife? That's what's kind of driving the story.
What's your character's name?
Jake Bonebreak. Which you know, it's actually I find a lot of names in the stories I write from people I went to high school with. These names pop into your head.
You went to school with someone named Bonebreak?
The Bonebreak twins.
I love that.
Yeah, Jerry and Larry Bonebreak. So I'm just honored to be able to use their name and a character.
Immortalized. Well, given that you have all these books to catch up on, I'm going to kind of throw you into a quandary here, I think, which is if we were to take you and put you on a desert island and you could only take 3 books.
I'm going to cheat like I used to do in school. The first book would be Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. That is one of the few books I was assigned that I actually read in the 7th grade. And to me, this is what an author should be doing. This is the voice of an American author. Yeah. So, and I haven't reread it since then, so that would be a good opportunity to do that. Second book would be an omnibus of everything Mark Twain ever wrote, because it's going to take a lot of humor to get by in that situation.
Right.
And so the third book would be how to build a seaworthy craft so get the hell off this damn island.
Excellent. Very good. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us. Welcome aboard. Look forward to reading what happens in the afterlife.
I'm truly honored and impressed to be with this group of authors.
Thank you, man.
Thanks.